Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We're in episode 2 of Progressive Linear Loading Strategies. And the first one I wanted to discuss, Adam, is what I think most people may encounter their first time through, which is you're still losing a little bit of body fat. You haven't had any reprieve, any kind of a diet break toward the end. So you're still as restricted in your calorie intake as ever. And then all of a sudden you're in peak week. And I had a client just this last week do this. First time I've worked with her all the way up to a show. And, she had lost 24, 25 pounds and she was where I thought she would need to be. But I thought, man, we are so close. I think you could be leaner, and you certainly just keep looking better and better and better as you get tighter. So we're really close to that kind of magic criteria level for bikini. But we really need to err on the side of staying tight. So I did not have a massive load. When we talk about progressive and linear, it's you almost think of it like this, like an XY axis where it's progressive, everything is moving forward, but it's linear. And this was a little bit more of a curve, so not quite as linear. But I started her out with her carbohydrates over the weekend, about the same as where they were leading up to peak week. And then once we started getting into some heavier training, I increased her carbohydrates by 25 grams. And we were able to maintain that for about 3 days. Then we got to the Thursday and Friday before the show. And even though she was going to be traveling and sitting in a car a little bit, I thought, you're going to be recovering. This is where we actually do need the load part of any loading phase. You still want to come in at least fuller. You want glycogen levels to be, getting close to that ceiling. So we went up another 25 grams those last 2 days. I even increased her protein and fat by 10 grams, or I think about 15 grams of protein, 5 to 10 grams of fat. So calories were appreciably higher toward the end of the week. And what that did with her weight was we started out around, I think, 115, dipped down into the 114s, and then we came right back up around 115. So weight didn't change that much, but we were able to give her about a 15 to 20% increase in calories overall, and still had a loading phase to the point where on contest day, when we're using a little extra sodium and keeping her really well hydrated, you could just see from meal to meal, her shoulders getting bigger, her vascularity and hardness coming in. And so we had just enough to create that effect of size, but we still didn't risk losing any of her conditioning, which was the side we had to err on. So that's how I handled somebody, Adam, who still was in that crucial level where they just still needed to maintain that hardness. And I wonder if you could speak to that at all, different strategies for somebody who's still losing body fat.
Yeah, very, very similar setup I had with a client over the weekend. We needed just a little, I felt like a little more leanness due to the criteria of the show. I actually brought her fats down and carbs up so we would have a little bit more of a thermic effect the first couple days of her peak week. And then we didn't really get to what I would say loading until about Wednesday, because that was merely almost an isocaloric move for the first couple days of peak week. Monday and Tuesday were just a touch higher. I think I went like 20 carbs higher, and then I believe it was Wednesday and Thursday, we went up 30 grams higher for those days. And then on Friday, we tapered we didn't push higher, but we kept carbs maybe, I think like 15 grams lower than the day before. We wanted to err on the side of tightness. So it was like a progressive linear load with just a little taper at the end. So for just one day, I thought that was a really safe call. And we nailed it. She won her class, so we were really happy with that.
Awesome. And that's really the point to this particular move, everybody who's watching or listening. If you're still dieting, if you still have to, worry about maintaining that crispness, you'll hear other people say in a conventional way, it doesn't matter. This is still the week to load. And so you're going to pour in all these carbohydrates and so forth, and whether it's a front or a back load. And that can really just be a bad move because you end up spilling over and not being able to reconcile that by contest day. So sometimes the best move is to be very conservative timing is everything, and the direction of those variables are very important. But don't be afraid to be moderate and rely on things like hydration and sodium. And so what we'll do is we'll come back next time in the next 2 episodes and talk about different ways you can approach peak week for the progressive linear load, even to the point where you're really able to create some aggressive moves. So stay tuned. We'll talk about that next.